2024 is all about AI and Samsung is leaning very hard into it. Now, Samsung just announced the new Galaxy S24, the S24 Plus, and the S24 Ultra. And let's just say Samsung did not come to play this year. However, how does it compare to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, arguably the best smartphone from last year? Let's find out. So this is not exactly a full review because I only spent about 2 hours with the S24 Ultra. Now, as far as first impressions go, Samsung is stepping into the right direction with their new flagship. Design-wise, it looks exactly like the S22 and the S23 Ultra. I guess Android fanboys will stop slating Apple for doing exactly the same thing. Now, the colors this year are titanium black, gray, violet, and yellow. Of course, the big elephant in the room is that the Galaxy S24 Ultra is going titanium, and most people are going to ask if they copied Apple. I think the answer is no, because that wouldn't make sense. I just think it was a direction most of these smartphone companies were already going in that new direction. That being said, the titanium gray is my favorite color out of the rest. It looks great and it feels great. And speaking of how it feels, it weighs almost the same thing as the S23 Ultra, but because this is more of a titanium build, the material is lighter, making this one of the easiest phones to hold without the case. With the few hours that I spent with the S24 Ultra, I did not feel any form of hand fatigue, nor did my pinky finger hurt in any way possible, as it did on the S23 Ultra, which was very bulky and required breaks in between when just scrolling through social media. Now, the sides are the same, volume buttons on the right side of the phone, a USB-C port at the bottom with stereo speakers, and of course, my not so favorite thing, the S Pen, which is great if you love scribbling down a few things, drawing objects here and there. But if you don't like doing any of those things that I just mentioned, then the S Pen is not for you. It's definitely not for me, and I don't think it will ever be. The iPhone 15 Pro Max is similarly designed to the iPhone 14 Pro Max, the iPhone 13 Pro Max, the iPhone 12 Pro Max. You see where I'm going with this. But this time, the corners are not as sharp as the 14 Pro Max. They are more rounded, which makes it easier to hold without having any issues. This also has a titanium build, so you have similar features as the S24 Ultra, such as a lighter and arguably a stronger phone. Now, the question that people ask me is, which is the better design? Personally, they have similar design patterns with the exception of the camera, and if we're going by that only, then the S24 Ultra is my choice with the better design. You tell me yours down in the comments. Now, displays are really the bread and butter of a smartphone. After all, they are what you look at every day, and I believe they make or break how your experience of a phone or with a phone will be. And the S24 Ultra, Samsung did not come slacking at all. This is still one of the best displays on any smartphone. It is 6.8 inches tall with a dynamic AMOLED screen, a 120Hz refresh rate, and of course, Vision Booster just in case your screen is not bright enough, which is kind of crazy when you consider the S24 Ultra is about 2600 nits of max brightness, making this one of the brightest smartphones in the industry. Let's just face it, Samsung produces the best displays in the game, so this is not really a surprise. Now, when going head to head with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, it is clearly better and clearly brighter. It also has that single hole punch cutout in the middle that gives it a cleaner look than the dynamic island. Some may argue you notice it less, which is true, but the Galaxy S24 Ultra has a cleaner look. Now, when it comes to unlocking these phones, it is hard not to talk about Face ID. Even though the S24 Ultra is new, the Face ID is honestly one of the best ways to unlock your phone because it is fast and it is just very seamless. Now, while the S24 Ultra does have some sort of face recognition, it doesn't come close to Face ID in my experience. Regardless of that, the S24 Ultra has the better display with a more secure way to unlock your phone, and of course, one of the brightest screens in the industry. So during the keynote, AI really stole the show. AI. And I think it's safe to say that 2024 will be the biggest movement for AI going forward. With the S24 Ultra, that AI software is embedded into the Samsung keyboard and it's not cloud-based like ChatGPT. I think the most standout feature for me is how you can use customized cases for the Galaxy S24 Ultra and it then changes the wallpaper. It is probably the most mind-blowing thing because it also has the potential to even customize it to your own taste. Of course, maybe for a fee, or maybe you can keep this going with a subscription model. I don't know, Samsung, call me up. I have a lot of business ideas. Anyway, there is also Note Assist that is perfect for anyone that uses the S Pen and takes a lot of notes. With Note Assist, you can edit the cover of your notes, change the color, add emojis if you want to, as well as just giving it a different interaction. Now within a given note, you can change the formatting, so if you want a bigger header, you can easily just do that. You can also use its AI capabilities to translate text to any of the 13 languages Samsung is offering. I think it's pretty sick, and if you love the S Pen, you're probably going to love it even more. Now, there are other AI features like Transcript Assist, which basically translates recorded messages or lectures or even business meetings into the 13 languages that I said. And if that isn't enough, you can then summarize the whole notes, which is done in real time. Now, one of the other features is in collaboration with Google Search, and it is basically just like Google Lens. You get a highlight of what exactly is on your screen, you search for it, and it basically gives you all the items, all the stores that most likely have this item. Now, one thing Samsung is really pushing is just letting everyone know how powerful the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip is, because every AI feature is done on the phone and is not cloud-based. Now, apart from that, Samsung is also promising 7 years of software updates. So all those that said it was unrealistic for Google to give 7 years of software updates, are we going to keep that same energy, or are we just going to act like nothing happened? Now, apart from that, I think performance was pretty good with my time spent with the phone. And if we're being completely honest, I don't think we're going to expect anything less. The iPhone 15 Pro Max has the A17 Pro, a very powerful chip that enables console gaming to be played, as well as offering a great performance. But apart from those things, the iPhone doesn't really offer much with the software. Yes, I know it has its own unbreakable ecosystem, but I think both Google and Samsung entering the AI direction, Apple isn't so far behind, because there are rumors of Siri being the center of the new AI introduction from Apple. Only time will tell. Now, with the battery life, the S24 Ultra has the same battery capacity as last year, which is a 5,000 milliamp hours of battery. But if we're going with the same route of how the S23 Ultra was, I believe the battery will mostly be the same, which is great, by the way. That is about 9 to 10 hours of screen on time without even overdoing it. The iPhone 15 Pro Max is no slouch either. It's probably one of the best batteries right now, and with the S24 Ultra, you get a 45-watt charger that goes from 0 to 65% in 30 minutes. Very nice. Of course, with every new phone, we have to talk about the cameras. The S24 Ultra has its 200 megapixel wide-angle lens with a 50 megapixel telephoto lens, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide lens, and a 10 megapixel for optical zooming. Now, if you want to compare this with the S23 Ultra, we are arguably going to be getting the same quality of pictures. Now, I did take some pictures at the event that I told you about, and it more or less is what I expected. The S24 Ultra is more saturated with a cooler tone than the iPhone's more natural and warm look. Of course, these are just preliminary pictures, so when I get the phone next week, I'll do a full comparison and let you guys know. Make sure you subscribe so you can be the first to see it when it drops. Ultimately, the S23 Ultra was one of the best phones, if not the best phone in 2023. And with the S24 Ultra, Samsung took a leap further with its design thanks to the titanium build, a better and brighter display, new AI features that makes the iPhone look like a thing of the past, and of course, the camera. Now, while the iPhone 15 Pro Max is great in its own right, the S24 Ultra just outclasses it in every way. But after a few days with this, only time will tell. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys that keep watching me. And if you got any value, subscribing and sharing this video is the best way to help me out. My name is KJ, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.